We are live. And Stevie, before we hit the intro, before we talk football, I always like to get to know everyone, let everyone get to know us a little bit more. It's Christmas season now. What is your favorite Christmas movie?
Home Alone. I'm gonna go Home Alone or Friday After Next. I'm definitely going with those two off top, and then we can throw a little Back to the Future in. Even though it's not a Christmas movie, but it's always good to go back to the future sometimes.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Die Hard. I mean, if you wanted to be, it really whatever movie it is that you watch during that time is the Christmas movie. You feel what I'm saying?
Whenever people say that it's a Christmas movie, I'm like, all right, then I get to count Goodfellas as a Christmas movie. There's like 3 Christmas scenes in that movie. It's a classic. It's a little boring, but I'm going to go Elf. I saw it in theaters when I was a kid. I love Elf. And I don't know about you, Christmas Story, 24 Hours. I have to watch it at least once.
Yeah, for sure. I like that Elf one also. When you're running through my wife and I like when you're running through the door and he's screaming. The yellow cabs don't stop.
No, that is the most accurate thing in that movie. They will just drive right through you if they have to. But we got a lot of Bills to talk about. So Sammy, hit it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Bills Banter with Stevie Johnson and Micheal F. Florio.
Fitzpatrick fires. Oh, caught! Steve Johnson! Touchdown, Buffalo! Why so serious?
The sickest Buffalo Bills podcast.
Allen will run it himself. He pumps. Got some daylight. Hurdles to the end zone.
It's gonna be sick.
Guru, what's up, brother? What's up, man?
Hey, you know what? These shows are always more fun to do after a win than after a loss. And this past week, everyone got to celebrate, Stevie. You know how they celebrate? They break out that sweet victory over at Cigar Mafia. I want to get it off the top because we're coming in good vibes today. 1-0 last week for the Bills. And for everyone who wants to celebrate, you can head over to cigarmafia.com. Merch, cigars, and Stevie, they got shops all around Buffalo as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. We got them in Orchard Park, Amherst, and downtown Buffalo. You can get things like this Air Allen cap and our pouch. We got a lot of things other than Sweet Victory cigars. If you guys want to tap in and check it out.
That hat is dope. I thought it was a Jordan hat.
Yeah, no, that's the Air Allen. You can find this on the site. Yeah. Make sure you use code Stevie13.
I still got this right here. Everyone wants to get one of these.
Shout out to our Orange County family. Yep, the Bills backers of Orange County. Big love to them. Shout out to Cruisers. Big Mike. What up, though?
We're going to have to get something going. We're going to have to bar crawl something. Playoffs are coming. We're going to have to get a lot going. But, Stevie.
Speaking of playoffs, Cigar Mafia, we thinking Las Vegas, divisional round. We planning it right now. We in talks with our guys, the Bills backers in Las Vegas. So, we'll see how that go.
You're gonna be there?
Yeah, that's what we working out right now.
I might have to book my trip to Vegas. Let's do a pod out in Vegas. Let's make it happen.
There it is. Let's go. We got the connection down there. We got the community. It's time to do it.
Look. Like Saturday leading into the Sunday game, you might not see me a whole lot. You would, but the viewers might not. But I'll be ready on Sunday.
Yeah, just make sure you show up on Sunday, brother. That's all we need is you on Sunday.
Stevie, I was gonna say, look, I wanted to come on here and talk about the win over the Steelers, but there's no normal week with the Bills this season. So a lot of news has happened since we've last seen the Bills play, which might take us to our favorite segment of the week.
I know, right? Hey, Sammy, hit it.
Why so serious?
What the heck, bro? I wake up and I look on X and I see, oh wait, the Bills, we claim Darius Slay. And I'm thinking back okay, Slay, yeah, he got skills. He know how to read the offense and he's pretty savvy. So I'm like, that'd be great going into the future of this season with all these talented receivers we'll be playing. Next thing you know, they talking about he go retire now. I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, are you serious? I'm talking to another fellow socialite, And yeah, he's like, man, dude, he's contemplating retirement, so he may never sign with the Buffalo Bills officially or play with them. And I'm like, oh man. So they got me, or Slay got me on this one. And before I felt like it was good, adding another vet. But now, Guru, how did you feel about it? And how do you feel about it now, knowing what has all transpired?
I like, we were talking about it this morning in our group text, and I agree with you. Like, I think it was a good move. You get a veteran with a Super Bowl winner, like as much playoff experience as you could have. It's another person that like Harrison could have learned from and been mentored by. And McDermott, the thing he does best, in my opinion, is get the most out of the secondary and Trey White this year, Jordan Poyer, stuff like that. So I was on board, but I think it's very evident that Slay wanted to go back to Philly, and I think he's trying to strong arm the Bills here, which already has hurt the Bills, Stevie, because they cut Ingram, who has been claimed by Houston now. So that's one of our cornerbacks gone. I think if you're the Bills, you play hardball here. But what, as a player and someone who's more experienced in this world, like, what do you think they should do?
You gotta shop him or let that guy do what he wants. We don't know what the conversations will be behind closed doors, because if he's one of those professionals where he understands that the Bills are strong arming him, and you're not going to go to Philly if that's what you're trying to do, and he reacts a way where we don't use him, he can't be used, then we lose, because we already lost one cornerback considering we added him. Let's say. He says he'll play, even though that he's getting stronger on, which I don't believe he will. I just think players they take more of their own ownership now, and I feel like it brought me to this point, Guru. What is so bad about being with the Buffalo Bills right now? Like I would be ecstatic to come back to a team that's a contender, looking like this may be that season for him, and you just came from a team that's very subpar on the defensive side. I don't understand the issue. Is there an underlining to that?
I think he's had a lot of success with Philly. He won a Super Bowl there. I think he's already said this is his final season. I think he was hoping to go out with the team that he's had a lot of success with and stuff. But look, if you can't go there, the Bills right now, and I think this is a good time to bring in our guy Drew Buckets, because he said the community has a lot of thoughts on this. But Stevie, like, I wrote this on the rundown. I want to ask you this as well. We'll get Drew's thoughts on it. But like, is it weird that I feel really good about the Bills' chances of making the Super Bowl, despite the fact that this might be the worst Bills team since 2019, because the AFC is more open than ever?
Man, you're not off. I feel like this is definitely that year. I'm not going to say this was the worst team. It's just we've seen a lot of up and downs in consecutive weeks for us to be like, man, what's up with this team? It's not as successful as we saw 30 points per week with a few mistakes. So yeah, this team is very talented, and the depth that the management built is great. It's just some things we want to be better than what we've seen, because we expect greatness now as a fan base. And but again, before we get Buckets to come in, because he always gives us a great rundown, just bringing back up that Darius Slay thing. I mean, I would be thinking, hey, let's try to win a Super Bowl on the AFC side, after winning on the NFC. And then you're coming into a team with the pass defense number one. So it's crazy. It's mind-blowing to me, but yeah, let's get Buckets in here for the thoughts on the community and the rundown for the Bills and the Bengals. Yes, sir.
Boom, thoughts from Drew Buckets.
Buckets, what up, though, brother?
Oh, hang on. This just in. Josh Allen takes a snap, hands it off to Cook. Cook's running out the right side. Oh, he could go. Oh, he's pushed out of bounds. Sorry, that's the 714th time they've ran that duo run. So, they're still running on Pitt. I don't know what they're planning on, but
hey, I love it. I love it. Hey, that's what they need to. That's called domination. That's called domination. If you're a gamer, what's up, Guru? You a gamer?
I play. I'm not gonna say I'm a great gamer, but I play.
Yeah, hey, if you got somebody that's using one play on you all day up and down the field, that's called it's complete domination. I wouldn't change it either.
But it is very funny to me that 2 weeks ago, when they lost to Houston, we were like, Joe Brady is calling the same play and it's not working. And then this week, we're like, he was able to spam them with the same play and they can't stop it. So, like, to me, it shows that wins and losses determine everything.
Yeah, and then it's about the defense, right, Buckets? You know, when you're using the same
doubt.
play versus a defense that's attacking, that same play that you're using is not the one that needs to be used. You know, that's where you got to flip it up and be different, which is what we'll see in the playoffs. So that's why these upcoming games are very good for our offense to grow and evolve. Buckets, what you got to say about it?
You guys pretty much said it, man. Brady was in his bag on that one. He just kept dialing it up like he was in Madden 2024, like just here we go. But the community, what's up, Guru?
Do you think that says more about the Bills or the Steelers, though?
I think what TJ Watt said after the game proves it's more about the Steelers. And the reason why I say that is he said it was astonishing that the play kept working over and over. He knew it was coming, and there was nothing he could do about it. And that's, while we have like a great plan to get him out of the play going forward, it might work this week. We're going up against a 30-second run, defense in the league. So it might work again this week, but even a broken clock is right twice a day. So
yeah.
2 weeks out of 17,
Buckets, what they've been talking about in the community about Darius Slay, the signing, it was a big surprise. I was very happy for it. And then a few moments later, we hear about retirement. So what's the community talking about?
I've heard it compared to a Bitcoin rug pull. I've heard it meme coin. I've heard it compared to, all sorts of things. It's a shambles, man. Everyone was super high. They bought in immediately. They're like, we're getting a veteran guy, 13 years experience, 6-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl winner on the NFC with the Eagles. You go gain all that experience and inside knowledge from them that we could bring over. And then, wait a minute. Ingram's gone. We cut him. Wait a minute. He's on the Texans. Wait a minute. Slay's not playing. He doesn't want to play. He might retire. And everyone's just like, how are we allowing this to happen time and time again with decision making? And that's what it all comes down to. That's like the topic of the day is just decision making.
So that's what brings me to this now. So when you say decision making, are you going to glass half full it or glass half empty it when you talk about management? Because I see it as them making an effort to go grab somebody, but that person just randomly, surprisingly didn't want to join the number one pass defense in the NFL. So do we credit our management and just carry on, or do we ride them or drag them for their decision to get a guy like Slay, considering what he's chosen to do?
The community is dragging him. As 100%, they're shredding him, like a pulled brisket. It's insane. It's something you never want to do to a brisket, by the way, shred it. But that's what they're doing. No, they're like, why didn't you do more research into Slay and what his aspirations were? It's a risk that you're taking him off waivers because the Steelers didn't want him. They cut him. So it's a risk, but you'd almost wonder, like, if they knew he wanted to go back to Philly, is it gamesmanship on Bean's part to prevent him and their defense from getting better? Now we have his rights. He's going to play for us or not play at all. Like, there's so many different potentials with this scenario, but the community is not happy at all.
You guys know I've come on this show many times and have, I'll say, attacked or criticized is the better word. I've criticized Brandon Bean. I'm not going to criticize him here. I agree with what Stevie said. I think he made a move trying to make this team better. Look, it stinks that they lost Ingram and they might not get Slay here, but if Ingram is the difference between this team going where we think they can go and not, this team is not who we think they are. So I actually think Bean was trying to better the team. And the only way he could this late in the season is by grabbing someone that gets let go by another
Right.
team, but I'm not bashing him for that.
Yeah,
I'm not
with
either.
you.
I agree. I agree with what you said. Sorry, Legend.
No, I do. We're going to talk lots of Bills Bengals. We're going to bring Muki on in a minute. But while we have the three of us here, I think we need to give the people a fantasy update. You see, two of us looked away. Two of us don't want to talk. Two of us is in the
To
playoffs.
quote Home Alone 2, another awesome Christmas movie, Stevie and I are looking up, wow, what a hole. We have dug ourselves into one heck of a basement, Stevie. What are we doing, man?
Yo, hey, this hit me, and I don't know what I'm really trying to win these games, and I literally went on an 8-game losing streak, and you made a good push. Like you could have still prevailed, but mine was, I think that's the most disastrous season so far, thus far, man. I thought I was cruising to the playoffs.
It looked like you were 5-0 with the most points. And then Lamar got hurt somewhere around there, and it has just free fallen. And you're not alone. There's a lot of Lamar teams out there who are free falling right now.
Man, that's tough, brother. I can't believe it happened like that.
You guys aren't out of it though. Stevie, you do play a 9-4 team, so that's, you play Josh Allen 2028. Drew, you get 6-7 like a good neighbors. But you both need to win, and I think the team ahead of you needs to lose for that to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm favored to win. You know, how you looking over there, Buckets?
I'm favored to win 121 to 113, but I think I need a point differential of like 812 to get back up into the playoffs.
Tough,
you
guys have my word, though. I will do my best to rep the pod well.
Please, Guru. Please, Lord Guru.
You know what happened on my end? This is the fantasy football karma gods saying, nah, that trade for Jefferson was not allowed. And I
forgot about that. The league was in an uproar. So for anyone who missed it, Drew randomly was offered a trade one day and accepted it. He got Justin Jefferson for Tez Johnson. And everyone was like, you're going to let that go. Me and Stevie, we spoke about it on the pod. We agreed there was no cheating or anything. We're going to let it go through. I'm going to check after the show. You got to let me – I got to look what week this was. There's a chance that Tez Johnson has outscored Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, that was wizardry because I've seen Tez Johnson in the end zone more than Justin Jefferson. So that was wizardry by that connection.
He's averaging like 3.8 points per game.
So Buckets got then, basically, huh?
Speaking of Justin Jefferson, though, he is unhappy. A.J. Brown has been unhappy. George Pickens is a free agent. There's wide receiver ones to be had this offseason, Brandon Bean, if you are watching. And I think we know that you are. But if Jefferson wants to be traded, the Bills are the ones who traded Jefferson to the Vikings. Bring him home.
Interesting. Yeah, you know how it went when we signed the former Minnesota Viking. It turned Josh Allen up with that Stephon Diggs acquisition. So yeah, maybe that's it. I don't foresee George Pickens with the chemistry that him and Dak is having. You know, Dak is going from a solid quarterback. He can do everything. He's very technical, into being the second in the league in passing yards. You know, so I think that came from George Pickens being on a team with CD Lamb, not only CD's production. So yeah, I think he's going to re-sign there, brother.
Yeah, and Stevie, to your this isn't a Bills thing, but I think it shows how much like receiving play depends on everything else, because last year George Pickens wasn't doing anything like this, but we see how good, and now DK's in that situation, and DK Metcalf's having his worst season. So like a lot of it depends on the play caller and the quarterback and everything. You guys can only do so much.
Yeah, brother. You know, in a DK situation, is not much he can do because of the style of receiver that he is. He needs other receivers around him that can, you know, take some of that pressure off or wear some DBs out, and then they can throw a pass to him or throw a deep in route or something like that, throw a go route. But just utilizing him as the main is tough for you, especially when you got a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers who likes to get the ball out fast. DK doesn't win fast. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So his surrounding cast has to be much better than Gainwell. And Gainwell is a good player, but you need more on that team.
Yeah, him and Russ were real because Russ would take forever to throw the ball. They were a great connection in Seattle, but Rodgers just isn't that. He's not going to throw deep. He's not going to. We saw that last week. And speaking of last week, I think we should bring on our guy, the Don Muki, joining us right now for Muki Vision.
Yes.
And Buffalo Fan Base Network right there. Definitely check that out. Muki, first, where can everyone follow you and Buffalo Fan Base?
Well, you can always hit us up on, the fan base. That's Bills Mafia, the actual Bills Mafia fan base. Or you can just check me at Waffle Sports, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're around.
And I asked this of Stevie and Drew, Muki. I'll ask you. Last week, the Bills were just spam play calling the same play over and over again. Do you think that win and matchup had more to do with the Bills or with the state of the Steelers right now?
I think it was more of the state of the Steelers, because when you look at it, it's like, shit, if it's not broke, excuse my language, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So, that play came into the huddle the exact same time, the exact way, 29 times, confirmed per huddle. I got that confirmed from the guys that's in the huddle. I'm like, yo, was that really called every single time like that? It was really called every single time in the huddle like that. So, I think it's more of the Steelers not stopping it, not making Joe Brady do anything else. I think Brady kind of learned from his mistakes in, some of those games where he abandons the run at the wrong time, and then team catches up to it when he try to get back to it. That makes you predictable. So, it's a lot of things that Brady is learning, and I think that, again, he just took advantage of a situation that Pittsburgh couldn't get themselves out of.
Stevie,
yeah, for sure.
As the only one who's been in an NFL huddle hearing plays, have you ever heard anywhere close to the same play 29 times?
No, not 29 times. I only done, like I said, only on Madden where you just repeat doing that move, or Mortal Kombat when you continue doing the squat low kick, the low kick. That was lethal right there. But yeah, I really like it. I like the fact that they were able to do that and they didn't go away from it. But at the same time, it didn't help anything for our evolution in our offense. I take it more as, I watched the UFC in boxing. It's like a sparring session. That game against the Pittsburgh Steelers was like a sparring session when really we want our guys to be prepared to evolve or make some checks. They called the same play over and over, and they were successful at it, and they handled business like they were supposed to. But again, we're looking for our team to, show that they can attack a team like the Houston Texans when they attacked us. Because we foresee the playoff picture, and it's not going to be a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well,
Yeah.
the I mean to cut you guys off, but the Houston game is kind of like they ran the same play that they ran the week before, that counter play. You ran that counter play into the ground, and then you go into Houston trying to run that counter play, and it didn't work. We better not see that against Cincinnati. We better not see that play against Cincinnati. We better see something off of that play. We need to see the setup play now off of that. It kind of caught Pittsburgh. They never really got out of their alignment. That's how it worked for the Bills. And when you got a slithering running back as such as James Cook, he knows how to bait defenders and bouncing it and bending it. And, that was all really on James. But I'll tell you what, credit Joey Porter. He's one hell of an open field tackler. I can tell you that much. He made every last bit of that, every tackle in open space against James Cook that game. He probably let tackles.
Yeah, well done to Joey Porter Jr., man. Legacy child doing what he's supposed to. I love that plug right there. That's cool. So, Mook, when you was talking about that, you say they better not run that play again. Okay. Do you say that as far as do not start the game off with that play, or wait to see if it gives you success and then run it over, or don't continue to run it over? What's your plan, Coach?
Let's see. Well, I know me being a coach, right? So I know that teams are studying the film from the past 2-3 games of my offense. So, okay, I'm gonna see what you guys been watching on film. So I'm gonna see what you guys learned off film. So I'm gonna see my base. If you can't stop my base, I'm gonna be like Joe Brady. You know what I mean?
Okay, bet, yeah.
You ain't gonna be able to stop what I got for you game plan wise. So
Exactly.
I'll tinker with it just to see how they will line up in it, but I'll go back to some wrinkles to adjust to know how can I get wins off that play. You know what I mean?
I wanted to say that because some OCs overthink and they won't even utilize the play because they feel like, oh, we used it 29 times, so let's try something else. Me, as a coach, I would go back to using it and see if we get positive yards or whatnot. And if we still do, okay, well, we got another sparring session. Let's run it out again. I wouldn't even go to my, the evolution of that play. So, that's the way I think about it. What about you guys?
I know you're 100% serious, but every time you guys say you call the same play 29 times, I want to laugh because it shouldn't work. It just flat out should not work. And it did.
And I want to say something off that too. Credit to, as we're giving out credit Alec Anderson and Ryan Vandermark for doing that against, the backups. Because that's huge. I mean, Dion wasn't in there and Spencer Brown wasn't in there. Hopefully they're back this week. But, I mean, that's huge to do that 29 times with 2 backups on the O-line. That's wild.
Yeah, that is pretty good. You don't expect Spencer Brown or Deion Dawkins to be out at all. So, that's a big spotlight on that position, considering I believe the week before was when Josh was getting hit, right?
Yep.
So man, that was big, and we saw them and they have their moments, but that's being overly ready with the false starts. He was being overly ready, thinking that jump off was gonna be faster than he thought. So that's good to know that he was ready and alert. But props to them. That was a good shout out right there too, Buckets.
Yeah,
Brady did a good job of window dressing that play. We did a good job of window dressing. It wasn't like the same formation every time. It just looked at, he had different personnel groupings, but it was kind of like the same play. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Let's put Stevie here and Mike here this time. We run some motion, but all right, James, you're going to bait him inside and bounce it out. You're one-on-one with Joey Porter every time.
Yes, bro.
When you do ask Madden and it gives you the same play 3 times just with like one player moving around, like that's basically what it was. Like,
I love it.
This week, though, much different opponent, Cincinnati Bengals. Stevie, I want to start with you because the Bengals, obviously, their strength is their passing attack with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. If you're preparing for what might be the best 1-2 punch outside of maybe the Dallas guys, what are you telling these? Like, how can you prepare for a tandem this talented?
Hey, y'all ready to do it again? Y'all ready to strap up again? Yeah, let's lock down. Hey, CB, you're going to shut down everybody in the league so far when they woke you up as far as not following Drake London the whole game, and you went on a tear. Hey, I'm going to need you to strap up against Jamar Chase. We got the number 1 guy coming in. He's going to get a minimum of 10 targets. We're not asking you to shut him down on all of them, but if you did, how your name going to be held? All right, let's see what you can do with that. Hey, go out there and have fun, my boy. Compete. Hey, then we getting back to the defensive line. Everybody else, they know their job, against the number 2, the number 3. You can kind of add the tight end in, considering Taron John. Is Taron playing actually?
Yes.
Yes. Taron, he's a mix. He can guard multiple positions, not only receivers. And that's gonna get the boys ready. But the rest is going to be on the defensive line to apply pressure on Joe Burrow so that the defensive backs don't have to cover for 6 seconds, 5 seconds, and things like that. So, that's exactly what I would say, considering this game against a top passing team.
To your point, week 6 against Drake London, when they matched up, Benford did not allow a catch. Week 8 against Tetsuo McMillan, he allowed 17 yards. Week 11 against Ibuka, 0 targets. Week 12 against Nico Collins, 43 yards. Last week against DK Metcalf, 0 catches. Like, he's looking like the shutdown corner again. Muki, obviously Benford is going to have to play well. I think this could be a good spot to get Harrison out there to keep up with the speed that Jamar Chase is. Do you think we see the rookie more this week?
Oh, absolutely. That's what I was wondering. Like, is T. Higgins playing? I know he was in concussion protocol. I'm not sure if he's off.
He practiced to open up the week, he also played Thursday last week, so has a little bit more than a week to get.
I heard he's playing, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you'll figure I would like to see that matchup because of the speed component. Benford 4.5, 4.6 guy messing around with Chase with that organic speed that he has. You may see a matchup with Mad Max on him, and then you see speed for speed right there. I think Max can run with anybody in the league. He's proven that already with Worthy going toe to toe. But I mean, Jamar Chase is just a freaking nature. One of the best route runners in the game right now. They just got to get after Burrow. Bills can't be playing, soft up front. They got to get after Burrow. They got to send some simulated pressures, a 5-man. You just can't keep relying on 4-man all the time. They got to get to Burrow. And it seems like in past, like other teams get to Burrow, but we just don't get to Burrow for some strange reason. Like we get to Burrow. Last time Cincinnati was in Buffalo, they knocked us off in the playoff, and it was a bad taste in everybody's mouth. I still got that damn bad taste in my mouth because that was our Super Bowl year right there. Yeah. And Dorsey came with, I don't know what type of offensive game plan he came with. It's snowing on the ground, and we don't run the ball at all. And, Cincinnati, that game, they had like half their line wasn't even playing, and they punched us in the mouth, and I just didn't have that's a bad taste in my mouth to this day. So we've got to get that bad taste out of our mouth, in on top of staying in the playoff race. So this is a big game this week.
And Drew, look, Chase Higgins, obviously the stars, but Chase Brown has been balling, man, as a runner and as a receiver. Look, Mookie says they got to get after Joe Burrow. They've struggled to get after the quarterback as of late. Joey Bosa is now injured. They've struggled against the run. But I would argue their last 6 quarters since the halftime of the Texans game, probably the best 6 quarters of defense they have played this year. Yeah. What do you think they have to do? Do you expect them to be able to slow down the Bengals is probably the better question.
I think so. I mean, we're the number 1 pass defense for yards in the league. So I think that we have that going for us. The Bengals are the 2nd or 3rd worst offensive line in the league. So that should, even though we don't have, Bosa potentially and Epinesa potentially not out, I mean, Groot should still be able to get in there. We can do, defensive switches to get people in, and attack Burrow. I think there's a lot of things that our defense can do to attack, attack this offensive line that's already, hobbled right now, and to get Burrow, who's still not fully back. Like, he's back, but I was listening to one of his press conferences today. He has a carbon fiber plate in his cleat that prevents his foot from bending at all. So his mobility is limited in that. So he's not even supposed to be bending his toe backwards at all. So he has a special cleat for that. So if we can get him uncomfortable and get him on the run, I don't know what that's going to look like. So he said it hurts to play in.
Yeah. That's where you gotta bring that blitz, and that's either with Taryn on the outside with the DBs or Shaq, Dorian, Milano sending the dogs. And I think mixing it up like that would be very valuable for our defense to keep that pressure off of our DBs against these receiver threats.
Yeah, and Shaq Thompson, I don't want to see him leave the field. Like, when they get healthy, I don't care. He is their best run stopper, and I think that has kind of changed the defense. Like last week, the Steelers have a good run game. They weren't able to run all over the Bills. It was the first time all year I kind of felt that way.
Man,
one of the few.
That rotation is wicked with Shaq being able to see things and call things out, and then you still got Milano who doesn't have to do all of that, carry all of that weight, and he can just be a bullet and go attack sideline to sideline or attack holes. Dorian's the same freaking way, man. He's a missile. He finds what he needs and then he goes. Now you got Shaq in that rotation along with a Terrell Bernard. Like that rotation is great ever since they opened it up for those 2 extra guys in Shaq and Dorian and didn't rely so much on Bernard and Milano. It's changed the game for the defense for sure, brothers.
Yeah, but Bills got to help them out with. I want to see the defense do something that they normally don't do. Be aggressive. Like, we didn't get to I meant to ask Coach, like, what did you say to your team at halftime when you were down 3-7 with Rodgers playing on one hand. Like, you mean to tell me we can't get after a guy that's had one hand? Bosa comes right out, answer that question, and we all know what happened right after that, right? Get the guy on the ground and you'll see something different. That's what we have to do against Cincinnati. They have to, I don't know what it is, but they have to start sending some heat. Like
that extra player, yeah.
They have to. Like, your defense is dealing with so many injuries. Your edge rushers isn't getting there. Okay, Bosa got there. Great. This is what, 5.5 sacks, Mike? He got 5.5 sacks?
Not much.
With the strips.
Right, yeah, but that's still not tier 1 edge rusher status.
Right.
This is our top guy. You know what I mean? So that's telling me that these guys need help, right? So you got to be a little bit more aggressive. Catch Cincinnati off guard with some simulated pressure, some blitzes that they haven't seen out of this Bills defense that'll help create some sort of turnovers and keep Joe Burrow on his heels. Because, I mean, hey, he's still trying to get in rhythm. Just getting back in the groove of things. We can't let him get in sync against us, gets with Jamar Chase and stuff like that, because we playing passive aggressive defense.
Yeah, or trying to overthink it, because I think that was the play last week. It was great play calls by Babbage, mixing and confusing Aaron Rodgers, which allowed that extra 2-3 seconds for Bosa to get there. But we don't want to have to rely on you doing a wicked coverage every time with no pressure. Because, potentially these guys who's number 1, they're number 11 and we're number 10 in offense. So, that's another top 10 offense. They're going to be ready for that chaos, So just like Don Mook is saying, you got to send the blitz and not just send that confusing pressure.
Yeah, and I know it's easy to be like, they're the number 1 pass defense in the league. That doesn't matter when Jamar Chase and if you give Joe Burrow time, those guys are going to get open against anyone. I don't care who it is. So, yeah, you have to get after him. Plus, the way I'm looking at this game, and I'm curious if you guys agree, I don't really view this as a big test for the offense, right? The Bengals are one of the worst defenses in the league. Every AFC playoff team has a better defense than them. You know what they don't have? Better offenses. Like, I would argue this Bengals offense at full health is better than Denver, better than the Colts, better than the Jags, better than Houston. I would say probably better than New England, but I know that's up for debate. This is a big test for the defense. If they could come out and slow down this Bengals offense, then I think we could start thinking Super Bowl again. Because if they could stop this offense, I don't think there's an offense in the AFC that you really look at and be like, I don't know if they can get by that one.
Yeah, let me piggyback off you on that, Guru. So, yeah, I feel you on that big time with that offense. The Buffalo Bills, their defense, if they can, like you said, if they can beat them, then that's showing a lot, considering what the Cincinnati Bengals can put together on offense. And this is how the third down conversions, when it's 3rd and 3, then there's Chase with one of those, taking the momentum out of yourselves. And you get that over and over and over, and that's time of possession. The Buffalo Bills offense, like you said, Mike, we're not worried about them. They just had the ball 41 minutes in the game. So that's complete control. So if they can do that again to an offense, then no problem at all, because that offense is going to try to do the same exact thing to the Buffalo Bills defense, except they'll utilize the passing game to do it, the short passing game, and then they'll get you over the top, So it's tricky. It's a good game that we'll be seeing.
And Buckets, the Bengals, second most rushing yards to running backs, second most receiving yards to running backs. We know the Bills are good there. They also have allowed the most targets, catches, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns, every category, to tight ends. How important is Dalton Kincaid, if he's Dalton First Aid, as some people online are calling him, and Dawson Knox this week?
And throw in Jackson Hawes in there too. I mean, you got to. That's vital. Not only is it vital to expose that vulnerability, it's vital to open up the pass game for the wide receivers as well. If we can establish a good connection with our tight ends and they start keying in on that, then that opens up everything else for Keon and Palmer if he's in there. I don't know if he is or not, but could be, Shakir. I mean, whoever. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for Josh to fire the ball downstairs or downfield.
Hey, he know
Hit me.
there's not gonna be more targets, but I mean, yeah, it definitely sounds good.
I mean, you got 2 and 3. That's several, right? It's more than one.
Yeah. Especially in this offense. Hey guys, have you guys ever been in a wing T offense or what do they call it, the wishbone type offense? There's no passing game going on, right? I was in one of those offenses, so yeah, 2 to 3 is a lot considering you running in a wing T offense.
Right. Brandon Cooks is on the team. You forget he's on the team. 1 target.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Yeah.
Got rid of Elijah Moore for that.
Gabe Davis is on the team.
1 target, 1 catch.
Yeah.
Shakir had what, 2 or 3? Like it's
2.
Oh no. Shakir is receiver number 1. Like he's eating.
Yeah.
He's eating. Kincaid's eating. I don't want to hear everybody eat. Everybody ain't eating. Everybody getting tablespoons. Kincaid, Shakur, they got full plate.
Is Kincaid healthy, Mookie? You're out there watching him. Like apparently he's got a knee issue now. Like what's going on?
I mean he's battling, man. At this point of the season, everybody's a little bit nicked up. But he's been having these nagging injuries for some time. And, Bill's just trying to keep him healthy as much as possible for the long haul, So, still a 50-50 that he'll play this week, depending the situation. Weather could be a factor in it, dealing with a hamstring injury, being out in the cold. If that thing ain't mobilized right, you don't want it to flare up again, and then you lose him for, the long stretch that the Bills is going to need him for, for December. So, it's still probably a game day decision with Kincaid. We'll just have to see, but I kind of like Kincaid not being out there because, it gives. I want to see what Brady can do with the receivers, like because once Kincaid out there, the focus is on Kincaid. It seemed like they force feeding Shakur and Kincaid the ball when they out there, and it's predictable.
100%.
Hey,
and you forget about the receivers.
It's also time for if Kincaid is out, it's time for the second highest paid Bill to earn his keep because Dawson Knox, we need you this week in this matchup if Kincaid is out.
Called it, yeah. If the tight ends is the area of the field that's the weakest for the Bengals, you got to ramp it up and make it known that you're trying to get it there because like Buckets was saying with the running game, it's going to open up the passing. We'll say with the tight end game, that's going to open up opportunities for the passing. When they try to converge inside, that opens up the outside game. And we saw Cooks get open on that 1 catch that he made a great conversion, and they didn't go to him at all. So, we're looking forward to seeing that 1 or 2 catches. That's big momentum plays for us, because we'll be able to control them in the run game.
So Mike, what are you saying? That there's 29 targets for the tight ends this week?
No, I'm not saying 29, but I'm saying we need these guys to get going because this is the one thing that I think goes under the radar with the Bengals defense. Maybe it's just because they've been cooked on the ground and by tight ends, but they're stingy to wide receivers this year.
Yeah.
So I think that you need to be able to exploit their weaknesses. I'm going to throw this back at you guys, right? Because we're saying Brandon Cooks 1 catch, Gabe Davis 1 catch. If Kincaid isn't out there, outside of Shakir, who do you trust in the passing game?
James Cook.
Yeah, I like that. James Cook, Ty Johnson, he's always ready. Yeah, he's always ready for those crucial situations.
Or let's see what Brandon Cooks got to do. We brought him here. Like, are we going to make him a point of emphasis in his offense? Are you going to be creative to get him the ball? You're going to take a shot, just play action, James Cook, boundary, throw it up. Like, let's get the guy going. Maybe Slay might want to play then.
Yeah.
Slay, weather doesn't look that bad.
Got me already. Let's not talk about Slay no more.
Do you guys think we see more Keon? He caught a touchdown.
Yeah, I think we'll see him as the season goes on, as long as he don't make any mistakes personally to have himself sat out. You know what I mean? Like he's a threat. He's a factor whenever he's in the game to be that lob threat or last second decision. And he always makes the most of it. So I think he'll always be on the field as long as he don't do nothing to mess it up for himself.
I don't know if you guys feel this way. Keon is getting bashed again. First, it was Steve Smith. Now it was Cam Newton.
Really?
Cam went hard. Like Cam
Hard.
About?
he called him a bum. He said
He said
that
he's not a number one.
yeah, and that
Waste of a first round pick.
Yeah, literally called him a bum and started doing Keon's dance. And like,
Why
my
would
thing
Cam
is
go
like,
hard? Yeah.
we're allowed to criticize him. That's our guy. You, Cam, this has nothing to do with you. But Stevie, I know we've already kind of talked about this earlier when it was Steve Smith. But if you're in Keon's ear, what are you telling him right now?
You know what? He already handled it with Cam. I mean, not with Cam Newton, but with Steve Smith. So yeah, continue to handle it how you're supposed to. Again, Cam is a coach. He's a 7-on-7 coach, and he's also one of the greatest dual threat quarterbacks. As you see, Josh Allen just surpassed his record. You know, so I can also take it just like how Steve Smith took it. It's tough love. You know, he's also, not to mention, a number one pick overall, all the players, you know. So he has a standard too on what he wants to see, considering he carried his team to a Super Bowl with basically without a number one receiver. You know, so it kind of surprised me for him to say that Keon's not a number one, or he don't see the skill in why the Bills took him so high. It confused me because you see a lot of the kids around the 7-on-7 with the same talent, you know, that people would love to have 6'4", strong, can run every route, all that stuff. You just need to have a you around him, which is what I would think Cam would go with more so than trying to rip him, I would say. He probably just, again, he don't understand what was going on when he saw him dancing and all the extra stuff. Again, he's on the outside looking in, you know, so I wouldn't even tell him to even retaliate. Just do the same as he did with Steve Smith and keep catching passes and touchdowns when the ball is thrown to you.
Buckets, do you think this could be the rallying cry for Bills fans to come to Keon's aid or something like that?
You know what I
They
said?
did.
Newton?
They did.
Yeah, you know what I would say to Cam Newton, and I love Cam too. And I know what I say to Cam just to shut him up. He won't have nothing else to say after this. Just tell Cam, be a man, fall on the fumble when it happens. Be a man and fall on the fumble, bro.
Bingo.
You know, man. Stop making business decisions. Be a man, recover the fumble, bro. There's nothing else.
The amount of people who posted that in response of him shying away from that fumble as everyone else dove on it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's why it just confused me. It confused me for him to go so hard on him like that. It had to be that was a business decision, maybe. That's what I'm thinking for the click.
You know what confused me is like, it's not like you're going after like, I don't want to use another wide receiver, but like a struggling star or something like that. I was like, you're bringing this energy for Keon Coleman of all players?
Right.
Like,
yeah, I was confused on that. I was confused.
I will say some people said he's having flashbacks to Kelvin Benjamin being his wide receiver one. Keon's got some time still.
Yeah, he's on a whole different level than Kelvin Benjamin. Yeah, they did come from the same college and things, but yeah, it was a whole different level, to be honest.
Yeah,
different receivers.
He was just salty that Josh passed him. He had to talk about the Bills in some way, so he went he found the easy fodder, and he was like, let me go back to his original press conference with a yellow coat and the cookies and everything. You know, he took the lowest of the low hanging fruit and had no substance to it, and he got ratioed.
Wow.
But you know what? He got clicks too, and that's half the battle in this field. Yeah. So I guess he got what he wanted. Stevie, I know I saw you this week very I won't say vocal because you were tweeting. Your thumbs must have healed up.
Yeah, they get better. They're getting better after that dub. Yeah.
Did you three-headed monster in the backfield is something you think they should keep sticking with?
Yeah, for sure. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, let it keep flowing and just continue to see where it goes, because maybe you go to the playoffs and those teams can't stop that run. Hey, that's an easy path to the playoffs instead of making it harder trying to play chess when all you need to do is play checkers with the pieces that you have in a James Cook, Ty Johnson, and Ray Davis. As we've seen how efficient the offense was when you utilize Ray Davis a bit more and Ty Johnson, Guru. So, yeah, I definitely think you utilize that run game more.
I'm going to throw this one to both of you guys. Who are you rooting for Sunday night? The Chiefs or the Texans? Because if the Texans win, the Texans are closer to the Bills and they have the tiebreaker. The Bills have a 2-game lead on the Chiefs and the tiebreaker over them, but they're the Chiefs. So are you rooting for them to get buried or for what's better for the Bills this year with Houston?
Buckets, you can answer first.
All right. I'm going to go from me, and then I'm going to go from what I've read already from the community. So my thoughts, I'm 100% rooting for the Texans. I could care less. Bury that Kermit the Frog, Mahomes as far down as you can. I don't care, and I don't want to hear, oh, if you go on a run and you go to the Super Bowl and you didn't get through the Chiefs, it's Mickey Mouse or whatever. I do not care. Play better and get there so we can beat again. I literally don't care.
There's no you didn't get through the Chiefs. It's not like Mahomes is hurt and
Bingo.
The Chiefs aren't getting themselves there. That's very different.
Exactly. That's my point as well. And then the community, I think we're all feeling the same thing. A few people I've read are saying, they're still stung from the Texans' loss recently, but that's two huge, opponents, insane defenses. It was a close game and, whatever. So I think pretty much we're riding, bury the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm on that too. I'm with the Houston Texans. You gotta take advantage of the team that was the powerhouse, and if you can't do it, you just giving them another opportunity to make sparks and do something great like what they've shown to do consecutive years. So yeah, I'm going for the Houston Texans. Plus, if the Chiefs end up beating the Texans and somehow they find a way to play against the Bills later on, that's definitely going to weigh in considering how the Texans shut down the Bills. Everything can play in, but I'm going for the Houston Texans on this one, Guru. What about you?
Same. I'm throwing the dirt on the casket. I don't want to see Kansas City. And plus, the Texans still play the Chargers and the Colts, the other two wild card teams.
Yep.
So that's going to sort itself out one way or another. One of those teams is going to get bumped. So, my fear, and I've said this before, I'll say it on this show. You guys can make fun of me if you want. If the Chiefs get in, they're going to the Super Bowl. They're not winning 5 in a row to get in and then losing, to the Colts or the Jags or something like that. So if you don't want, maybe the Bills beat them, but if you don't want to have to play them, keep them out. That's how I see it.
And that's why I felt like Indianapolis Colts, I'm not too high on them because they had the Chiefs down at their crib and they lost that game. So it's like, the Chiefs know they can beat you. The Bills know they go beat Denver if they end up running into them. We just know that. And so I feel like the Chiefs, you can't let them in because they got a lot of team soul in their closet and they just ready to bring it out if they can in the playoff situation when it's do or die.
Another one for you guys. Who are you rooting for? Same time that the Bills are playing the Bengals, the Ravens or the Steelers?
It's tough to even say you go cheer for the Steelers. Be ready to be stressed out. It's definitely gonna be the Ravens. So just go ahead and
for Baltimore.
I'm not rooting for them. I just know they go win. They go win.
Okay.
There's no way that you can pick the Steelers to beat the Ravens.
I'm rooting for Pittsburgh though, because I want Lamar and Mahomes at home along with Joe Burrow. So the only elite quarterback in the AFC playoffs is Josh Allen.
Hey, that's why your Sundays are fun. Your Sundays are always fun. I feel like I'm getting right to it, and that's what hurt me against you. I thought it was over with until I got that sweet chin music.
Man, Dak went crazy in that fourth quarter.
He went crazy.
Buckets, Steelers or Ravens? Who would you rather see win that division?
The division. I got to keep Lamar home. I love
who the Bills play round one.
I was at Lamar's number retirement at Cardinal Stadium in Louisville when he was on the field retired. That's my guy, right? I love Lamar. I watched him live numerous times, but he's got to sit home. Josh has got to go on the run. If he goes on the run and he keeps going the way he is, I don't see how he's not at least in the conversation for MVP. So, if he does what he does, I mean, that's got to be MVP worthy. So that'll just be another notch up the belt for against Lamar and, against Mahomes and, casting out the demons. But
MVP, he's going to have to win the division to get that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're going to have to win out. That's it. That all goes back to that conversation of us winning out and just going on a crazy run. Like, that's what's going to happen. But if he does, he's already beat Mahomes this year. He already beat Lamar week 1 when he was healthy. He got the talent. It'll just be that Superman, cape going, crazy. Let's see what happens.
I'm rooting for the Steelers hard. It's solely a respect thing because I know Lamar is not healthy right now. And I know people are saying this might be a thing for the rest of the season, all of that. I don't care. If Lamar can get going, he is the scariest person on the other side, not named Patrick Mahomes. So and look, the Bills could end Joe Burrow's season. It's all out there for the Bills right now because we were talking about right now the other AFC teams are the Patriots, who are not battle tested at all and have had look. I love Drake May. It's been an easy schedule. Denver, the Jags, the Colts, the Chargers. None of those teams really. There's not a team there that we have listed that I wouldn't pick the Bills to win, even going on the road.
Exactly. That's why this is definitely prime for the Bills to get to the Super Bowl and compete. I don't even say win right now, but they'll be able to compete in the Super Bowl from this stack of team that they'll have to go through in the AFC. And considering they may have to play against the Baltimore Ravens and stop that run game again, but I don't fear that Baltimore Ravens defense. So I'm good with our Bills.
The thing about the Steelers is I don't fear anything on that team. I think the Bills just stomp them again. I think Mike Tomlin probably should go somewhere else. I think both sides could do better from a restart.
Oh, wow. Really? So after 19 years, just off of this one losing year?
No, it's the fact that for the Steelers never have a losing season, but the last time I at least have felt like they're good enough to win a playoff game is like Tomlin keeps them too good. They never have a chance to rebuild because they're always contending for the playoffs, but they can't compete with the Bills or the Chiefs or I know this year's a little different, but in the past years, every playoff wildcard weekend, it's all right, who's going to blow the Steelers out now? That at least in my opinion.
Dang, so in that case, McDermott has really been here for too long. If Tomlin's one season is not enough, right?
I just think the Steelers need a hard reset, and I think Tomlin is too good of a coach to have a hard reset.
The way our community feels about McDermott, Bean, Brady, everyone like that, they are the Pittsburgh Steelers fans. I got a couple friends who are diehards. They are furious. They don't care about 19 years. They don't care. Okay. He can take that, bottle of champagne or bottle of beer, whatever is in that fridge that he keeps saying forever, and pass it on. They are done. They are over it. They are signed out. People are not renewing season tickets. They're, they're serious.
The thing about the Steelers, and I think this is a compliment to Tomlin, is they do not lose the games that, when you look at their schedule and you're like, this is a win. They will win those games. But they never win the games where you're like, that's a tougher opponent. They maybe in division, because that division is weird, but when they play the Bills, they don't have a chance. When they play the Chiefs, they don't really play well. So I don't know. I just feel like purgatory is the worst place to be in the NFL, and I think that's where they're kind of entrenched right now.
Okay, so go somewhere else and rebuild there then, huh?
Yeah, I think he can go because the Steelers are going to have to tear this down, I think. And I think Tomlin can go – I'm trying to think of a good situation where
Vegas.
Vegas
is so bad.
Yeah, they would need another quarterback in Vegas, I would say. They need
a quarterback, pair it with Genty, and watch them fly because he's done that with so many good running backs.
I got a good one, and our producers are going to love it. Tennessee, because they already have
I
the
was gonna say,
quarterback.
that was
there.
my number
They
2.
already got a step.
They have the cap. They have the high draft pick. Tomlin could come in and have a Mike Vrabel type turnaround.
Wow, that can be a good one. Let's look out for that one. If he's going out to Pittsburgh.
But I don't know a world where Mike Tomlin isn't, isn't the face of Pittsburgh football. So it would be weird.
Right, for sure.
Any last thoughts before we say goodbye to the people?
No, I always want to thank the people for their time tuning in, leaving their comments. We'll get back to it and communicate and engage with you guys. It's good to banter.
Stevie and Buckets, you could go after this.
Sure.
Will people get to smoke a sweet victory cigar this Sunday?
You already know. Look, let's run down the list. Our overall offense is second. The Bengals is 22nd. So, yeah, that's a sweet victory. Then we talk about rushing offense. They're 30th. We're first. Sweet victory. Passing offense, 11th. We're 10th. Sweet victory. We go down the list. Scoring offense, 16th. We're 5th. Sweet victory. So it's all adding up to where the Buffalo Bills should have a sweet victory coming up against the Cincinnati Bengals. So yeah, I'm gonna be definitely looking forward to sparking up and getting light with the Mafia.
Bucket, same or?
Oh yeah, same. I think Josh Allen gets the monkey off his back and finally beats Joe Burrow as he's 0-2 against him. I think it's going to be a good mix of offense. I think James Cook goes for over 120. He'll extend his plus 115 yards to 4 games in a row. I think Josh has 3 passing touchdowns, 2 to tight ends. I think we, high 30s, low 40s. I think we take home that 1 o'clock victory at home in the snow, potentially 29 degrees. Like, let's go. Let's go. This is our house. This is our brand. We only have a few more games left at the Ralph. I'm always going to call it the Ralph forever. I think we get it done. I think announced sweet victory.
Who the legend of the game is yet?
Daryl Talley, I think, right? Isn't it Spider-Man?
Talley is.
I was gonna throw a suggestion out there. I know he's hurt right now, but it should be DeMar Hamlin.
Oh, that would have been a good one.
That's a dope one.
That would have been a good.
I hope they let him do something.
Yeah, that would have been cool, even for a current player to do the legend of the game, because usually they do, former players.
Because obviously everything happened against the Bengals. It was in Cincy, but first time they've met since the playoffs that year, but since then they haven't faced. So it would.
I was at that game.
Meaningful game for him.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I was at the DeMar game.
Oh, you were there?
What was the vibes? How did it feel? Tell us your feeling from being there.
It was the most insane thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It was that you knew something was terrible when everyone got silent. Like, normally there's a murmur. Normally there's like a crowd is like getting restless and bored. No, everyone was locked in. Everyone was scared. People were praying, Bengals fans and Bills fans alike. People were crying because I was high up. Like, I just wanted to get in the door. So I was up top. I could see them just railing on his chest. And I was like, this is not good. And I was listening on to the radio broadcast, and it was insane. It was unlike any experience in any stadium I've ever seen in my entire life. And no one left until they said it was over. And then everyone was like shell-shocked. They did not know what to do. They didn't know how to act. People were like, it was the most surreal scene I've ever been a part of. Fans were hugging and praying on the way out. And, it was just like, it was just a community at that point. It was bigger than football is what it was. Football didn't matter at all. And it was all about, is DeMar going to make it? And I'll have to send it to you. Maybe you guys can put it up next time. But I have video somewhere of the ambulance leaving the stadium. I was over the wall and I could see the ambulance leaving. So I'll send it to you guys. But yeah, it was insane. That'd be really cool if they did something for DeMar because we haven't played that many times since. So
I think just the playoffs later that
Just the
year. I
one,
think that
yeah.
was the only other. And that I don't want to make excuses. Look, the Bengals whooped the Bills in that game. I know they're completely different teams. The stars are the same on some of them, but I just after that happened, I was like, how is this team supposed to get mentally back? You know, like I think that was a really challenging thing for that season team. But now we're years removed. DeMar's okay. He's on the team. Like, I just think it would be cool to pay tribute to him and to the medical staff and stuff like that.
For sure. Yeah, having the medical staff be legends, that'd be cool too.
Oh, that'd be sick. Yeah, the 30 for 30 gonna be pretty cool once they create that for him.
Drew, so you aren't that far from Ohio. Are you going to be at Bills Browns December 21st?
I don't know. That's really close to Christmas with the kiddos and stuff, but we'll see. If I can, I will. But I'd love to get back up to the Ralph one more time, but I don't think that's going to happen either. But
maybe in the playoffs.
One last thing I wanted to say real quick, I'd be remiss if I didn't. I just wanted to wish my wife a happy birthday tomorrow. So shout out to the missus.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Buckets.
Drew, take her out Friday and Saturday so that you could enjoy the game on Sunday.
We already got plans. My daughter's cheering at a halftime show for a local high school here. She's a part of like the junior cheerleaders. She's only 7.
You guys are cheer dads.
Oh yeah.
No,
so we got that going, and then I'm treating her right all day Saturday, and then she's gonna watch the game with us on Sunday. She's a Bills fan too. We're at Bill's house.
There you go, brother. Hey, sounds good. Yep.
Hopefully with a nice dub, a Jameis Winston eat the W.
Big.
But yeah, I think that's all I have today. Stevie, take us out.
Dog, hey, make sure y'all continue to handle biz and have fun out there and continue to support your team. I know Bills Mafia is number one, but you can support your team and still watch the Bills Banter show on the Sick Podcast. All right, one love, y'all. Bills for life.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Bills Banter on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.